Good evening, this is Tea with Sushmita. Here we talk over tea. Today I have with me a very unique personality whom people have called maverick, genius, and a complete out of box thinker. Some of you know him for his extraordinary work with global brands and companies. Others know him as a very reputed, internationally well known artist. Funny, colorful, and a polymath, Shambit Sen. Welcome to my tea talk, Shambit.
Thanks for inviting me.
You were supposed to be in Europe, right? And in North America, if I remember it well, for
Yeah.
your exhibitions, which now everything is locked down, so you have postponed, something has to be rescheduled. How are you keeping yourself busy at this time then?
Well, we were supposed to leave on 16th of March for I had an exhibition in Brussels, then Atlanta, then Montreal, then in Paris. So from end of March up to June, the all exhibition would happen parallelly everywhere, but everything we had cancelled in last moment. Well, for an artist, lockdown is not a big issue because you have to paint you do inside
Yeah.
the studio. There you are. Since I have totally on my art since 2015, it started making me big difference. But I
Mm.
was always in the fine art. But at the initial stage in Paris, I went very early age when I was 19. I went to Paris, so I had to earn money. This is for the livelihood generation. I had to go there. From the design, it became a big consulting, and although I have worked across the world, and became very big. I could not control. But
Yeah.
simultaneously, I always painted. Painting was
Uh-huh.
always there. So let's say when I was handling that my consulting business, that time I used to do perhaps 30 to 40 paintings a year. But now I'm doing 150 plus. This is the big difference because I'm the whole time with the painting. It's a totally different life. Here you are contradicting yourself. You have the no other things to think that you have to really see the world differently and you bring the imagination. I love my color now. I make color canvas and travel for my art across the world. I'm traveling more and more now for my exhibitions.
Mm. Yeah, I see a lot of colorful canvas behind you. Also, the kind of clothes that you wear. I know you for long, long time. I see that there is a color is very important in your life, uh, and I find that somehow your painting reflects you, or are reflected in your painting. How does that happen? Is there some kind of a relationship between what you do and who you are?
Well, I have not, it is not by design.
Hmm.
You can say it might be by default because I love really very much color because, the black and white, nature is not black and white. Nature is colorful. But your dress is very nice. Doesn't mean that I don't like black and white. But your face is there, colorful face. No? So that the nature is very colorful. And I always admire this, nature contribution. I think it reflects to us.
Hmm.
But by mistake, scientifically, they could not invent color at first. That's why black and white picture came. But I can
Hmm.
ensure you, if initially it was the color, nobody would have thought for black and white pictures. And
Okay, that is a very different thought.
that is, yeah,
Okay.
that is yeah. Because if you see today, you
Uh,
receive any WhatsApp message or any kind of social media in black and white.
no, it is not possible. Correct.
But it's possible, but you have also a button you can make black and white, but nobody do that.
What you're saying makes a lot of sense. Going back to some of your work that you did, particularly in the tea industry, I know you worked extensively with a lot of major tea brands, global tea brands in Europe. How was that experience? And what are you seeing tea as a beverage, as a lifestyle trend happening today globally?
Globally, I can say, when I travel other countries, even if I see France, where I grew up, that tea is some kind of very elitist thing. Yeah, people take it in a very. It's not like in India or in England where tea has a certain rituals. And then I don't think that tea market people has done proper job to make it a very purposeful. That is possible.
I also agree. Yes.
That is a purposeful. So, but the tea has a certain enjoyment. But the way the cafe worked very strongly with some, Harvardian, they went to Colombia, and they went to all of Latin America, and they established the coffee as a thing, as a booster. You see, and booster the coffee. That way, if you go to a cafe, you have another alternative in the cafe. But this kind of alternative, when tea can come, then tea will be really, really very big. Even in France, I have seen long time, since like 30, 40 years, there is a tea room type of, where you get some 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, some kind of dessert and have a tea. But it's a very sophisticated way of
tea. Yeah, the afternoon tea.
Yeah, and we can. One of the brand in France belongs to Unilever called Elephant. It was totally done by me. I have seen how to bring the expression of the Indian elephant. It was my big thing to drive this brand. But in this brand, but in this brand, I have told them also there are too much mixture of, they say only tea in France cannot be sold. They have the artisan, all these kind of other.
Tisane, yeah.
But I think this kind of mixture kill the tea. Tea and tisane, they are not the same thing. Not at all.
Not at all same thing. Yeah, but a lot of people talk tea and tisane in the same breath. As a true blue tea lover, I would not like to see a flower to be called tea.
But only tea, it doesn't sell. Because we have the multiple variety. People really in Europe take the tea as a variety, like a fruit juice. You have the multiple fruit juice, the tea they consider like this. But the serious of the tea, I don't see it is still happening.
I also remember that you travel a lot to Assam, where your wife comes from. She is from Assam, and I think your in-laws has a tea estate there, and you bring a lot of your friends from Europe and America to go and visit the tea estates and spend some time there. So, what makes you go there?
Let me show you this. Bhergaon is the village where they have the tea estate, and they have the multiple tea estates. I go regularly, and I know in the winter time, from 15th of November to 15th February, I told all my Western friends that if you want to travel with me, and you can come. And last nearly 7-8 years, every year we are going, and everybody likes it very much. What are the things very interesting that people have heard about the tea, but they don't have any conception, idea of how tea has been, what is the agriculture made and all this thing. Yeah, it is a really poetic land, when you go to Assam in the tea garden. So, you have the blue sky, then you have the beautiful, the
green estate.
Kilometer after kilometer going, the whole greenery, square is greenery nicely cut out on the top, and sometimes some colorful movement they're plucking the thing. It is really, and the big trees are giving the shadow. It looks really like a very illustrative painting. And each time I see, the lights change, from let's say 3 o'clock to 5 o'clock when you visit. This is the time when I go. My God, the lights change and leaves color change. It gives a beautiful, terrific effect. Terrific. When it is like a dreamland. And one thing is very interesting because they are very, very big, and so infinite. It goes so well. So you have particularly this Bhergaon, where I'm very much habituated. They have multiple, the garden, and it takes me out totally in a kind of paradise tour. Beautiful, really. So calm and quiet and so nicely happening, and after that when they bring us back to their bungalow and make the tea and all, then this experience is really, really terrific, and this pushed me to go every year.
As you know that I am doing kind of a tea tourism, creating some tea trails in different parts of India. I just finished doing my video, which you saw. So would you like to come to Nilgiris and bring your friends, number one? Number two, do you think people from outside or also from India would like to come to this kind of tea estates and spend a couple of days and, relax? What are your thoughts on that?
What I have seen in your Nilgiri, frankly speaking, I had no idea. I thought in India only Assam and Darjeeling produce the tea. And you really opened my eye. Even Rini, my wife, she told me, this is really she should make very good plan that, for different economic class for 3 days, for 1 week, how children will enjoy. It's a
Complete
wonderful
package. Yeah.
package. And the
Mm.
way, it is so beautiful. I would prefer to go to tea states than Disneyland. It's so beautiful. It's really, really outstanding. Let me
Thank you so much.
yeah, it's staying 3-4 days there. That means you are really dialoguing with the nature. From this year, if everything all right, I have already some students, some friends will be coming in December. Of course, I will put at least 3 days trip to this place.
Oh.
But you have to come. You have to go there. You have to organize.
Of course. Yeah. That is my job. I will definitely do that. Yeah. Thank you so much.
You have to create some kind of storyline. Like Don Perignon, champagne, that the number one champagne in the world. And the whole Don Perignon, who is a monk, and if you go there, and then you'll see his church and everything, and if the people go and visit there, it belongs to LVMH group, and I am sure that at least for 150 to 100 years of story, you can build up very nicely.
There are excellent stories. Like, for example, there is the highest tea estate in India, you have seen in my video, which was started by the prisoners of opium wars. So the British had bought the Chinese people after the prison, from the opium wars, and bought those prisoners, and they were the first people who started cultivating. So there are some fascinating stories all over Nilgiris. Yeah.
Yeah. But you have to really bring the story down the line, because this kind of agricultural product, what you say, how to make tea, nobody cares. But how it has started, what is the value of the way French people they sell the wine, they're talking about the chateau and all, and you should really make a terrific story. Not very big, but very, very short story, which is very exciting.
Yeah, series of programs videos that I do. Yeah. Great. What is your staple tea? I know you are a Bengali, so you drink a lot of tea. So what is that one tea, your staple tea that you drink?
Second, something
Darjeeling second flash.
Oh, yeah. My wife specially drink for me from Calcutta, Lal Bazar, the special shop. And not only that, this time, my friends, I think we have bought at least for 70,000 rupees tea from this place, which was the 20,000 rupees kilo, and they call me every day. This kind of shop, it's really terrific, For them, they spend 1 hour to buy the tea, and they're enjoying, because the way they take the tea, they give from the box and all. Where you find it? Nowhere in the world.
That kind of shops you only get it in Calcutta. Since you are a Darjeeling second flush tea lover, which is also my favorite tea, I drink that every day. I'll brew something else for you, which I called Winter Frost. It's from Nilgiri. So this is how the Winter Frost tea looks like. It is actually made during the winter. So when the winter frost falls on the tea leaves, that leaf is used for making this tea. So it's a specialty Nilgiri tea. It is not really very, the quantity is not very large. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make 1 cup of tea. So this is 1 cup of tea is 1 teaspoon, which is 2 grams. I'm putting it in the kettle, and then I'm going to pour water, which I have boiled at about 100 degrees, then let it settle down so that it comes to about 95 degrees or something. So it will take some time to brew. It will take about a couple of minutes.
This frosted tea and the white tea, this is a very new chapter, and you should do it as a new chapter. But then people will find something really, really new. We didn't know. You will really discover it from you.
In India, in Darjeeling, white tea is very good. In Himachal, they make very good white tea. And Nilgiri also makes very good white tea when the altitude is high. But the winter frost only Nilgiri makes. No other place in India makes winter frost. It's a very, very specialty tea of.
Very interesting. Very interesting.
Let me ask you some quick questions. Your favorite artist?
Millet.
Okay, great. Paris or Kolkata?
Two things are different. I love Kolkata very much, but I don't stay there. I left when I was 1973. But Paris, I have a very big. I grew up there, and main thing, Paris is highly related to the art. And this I don't get anywhere. Even a taxi driver has some knowledge about the art. It's a really you live and breathe in a society of art. Politically, socially, there might be a lot of difference, and you can argue on that. But artistically, it is something really, really incredible. But also, I like Calcutta. Calcutta, India, also I like. If I tell you the color from where I take the idea of the color, it is totally from here, and I'm really, and which I could not find when I was young. Because if you see my old painting color, they're very dark color, But because sometimes it reflects my time, but my poverty. But when I discovered in France the color, and then I came to India to see regularly what is the main point in India, that there is no dogma of the color. People can use the way they want. Totally freedom of expression.
Yes.
India shows the art has started before civilization. You see?
Absolutely.
Before civilization. So this thing, still today in India, you get really incredibly on this subject.
No, you mentioned that your friends, when they come to India, they call it color tourism, right? Something like that you mentioned. So I can understand that. Yeah. But also Paris has contributed everything to you. What you are today is because of Paris. So I can understand. Yeah.
Color. Let me just elaborate with the color tourism. Then in the Western society, when they see the color, my color in the big gallery and all, it's a totally irreverent, disturbing all the system. And then they enter on the subject that what is this, from where it comes. There is because I have a consistency of my painting. Everywhere you will find something. This is important in the Western art. And they found, and then they say that we should really go to see your country. We see your painting color from your country's color. This is the way they come. When they come first day, I the chickpet to show the human ocean there, and how people deal with the color. Pastas are the different color. Then you have the flower. Then you have the everything. Then you have the different the how do you call powder type of thing for some religious aspects. The color, when colors are if you knock out the color from our Indian very basic living style, India will look horrible. So color everywhere, that even if you go to a market, in Kolkata, when you go at 5 o'clock in the morning, I wake up everywhere, you go to the flower market. My God, they have never seen in their life this kind of flower market. In Bangalore also we have, but Kolkata one is an incredible flower market. We spend really 2 hours in the flower market. How it comes from the Ganges, how it is one kind of a pilgrimage. It's a beautiful thing. Terrific.
Next question: Mopasa or Sharat Chandra?
By heart, Sharat Chandra, he contributed me a lot. When I was young, before leaving for France, when I was in India before 19 years, I really read Pathet Gabi, his famous book, and really inspired me. And then I was highly inspired by it. Sharat Babu is a very big inspiration for me. And then Mopasa is another inspiration, which I learned later stage. Sharat Babu was more early stage. At that time, I didn't know what is Mopasa. Later stage Mopasa. And I love so much Mopasa. Somebody gave me a gift. I have a Mopasa one original book. It was printed only 100 of this time.
That's a treasure. That's a treasure.
There are two emotions that are different. Sharat Babu and Mopasa, two things are very, very different. But one point I can tell you, one thing very interesting, working from YSL, Yves Saint Laurent chairman called me. It would be about 1990, something like this. And he asked me to work for Saint Laurent, the cosmetics. And when I met with him, he's a very, very outstanding artistic guy. His name is Pierre Berger. He told me, I am a big fan of Sharat Babu. He's a very, very, very outstanding intellectual guy. So I was really saying that, my God, whom I'm talking. So I have, my introduction, it was so fascinating. I love very much. He told me that was really, it was in the 90s. He died. Pierre Berger was the partner of Yves Saint Laurent, and Pierre Berger is the man who built up the YSL whole group.
Black and white or color palette?
Of course, the color palette, but I cannot ignore you that you are beautiful with your black and white.
Well, every woman needs to have a little black dress, right? So
I don't know all women. I'm talking only to you.
Okay.
You are looking beautiful, color pink and with your color black and white.
Great, great. So I think my tea is ready. Yeah, so this is how the tea looks like.
Beautiful.
It is a very nice, the flavor and the aroma is too good. It's one of my favorite teas now these days. So root for you. That brings us to the end of the talk. And stay well, keep painting, and make the world a lot more colorful. Thank you so
Thank you.
much.